In starting this drawing, the first thing I want to do is find out where it's going to fall on the page. And for that, I want to find basically what the central object is, which in this case is the wine bottle. So I'm going to quickly make a visual mark for myself that on the around the perimeter of that I want the objects to fall inside of those lines, and that central line I'll know I'll keep coming back to because that's where that central wine bottle is. Now, I'm going to start with very gestural marks. I'm not thinking too much. I'm just working and looking back and forth. I'm also keeping my pencil almost in constant contact with the page. That way I can keep looking back and forth without losing my place. Now, work intuitively and gesturally in this part, and don't edit yourself yet. We'll do that in the second step. Don't get bogged down in one area. Keep moving around the page, feeling your way around the objects, and be relaxed in this part and work from the shoulder. Don't worry, because assume everything's going to need to be adjusted either in a large or small way. So just assume you can fix it later, whatever the marks you lay down. So the sighting technique is what we're going to need to use a lot for this second part. And remember, the important part is you're going to need to keep one eye closed when you're using the sighting technique. Like here, the first thing I'm doing is looking at that central object, comparing the width of it to the height. And I more or less can figure it's about 3 times as tall as it is wide. So I'm going to reestablish what the width I want of the bottle is, measure that, and I'm making little 3 marks of those widths, and I know the top of that bottle needs to be corrected and dropped down from where I initially drew it. I also noticed that the neck of the bottle is about 1 bottle width down from the top. You'll also notice I'm drawing through the objects, putting axis lines down the center, and these, whenever there's an ellipse, I'm drawing it all the way through. And I'm reinforcing the new line with some sharper, darker lines. Now I want to find the angle of that ladle, and by doing that I'm closing one eye and holding that stick up and then matching the angle that I see it at, so that I also am going to adjust right here. And where the ladle comes up, I'm also checking that angle and correcting that. The next thing it's good to check is to use the stick or pencil to see where the tops of objects line up. So for example, I just noticed that the edge of the top of the red box lines up with the top of the blue mug pretty closely. So that will need to be adjusted. And on the red box, I'm checking right now the angles of those lines that you see. And checking the right side now by closing one eye and then trying to match that angle. And I'm getting that a little closer to the way I initially had it. Now I'm going to move around, not staying too long in any one place. The wine bottle still is almost there, but is going to need some more adjusting later. I'm comparing the full length of the wine bottle to see if the farthest point of the red box is in the right spot, and it looks good because the height of the wine bottle is pretty much exactly the same as the distance between the right edge of the wine bottle and the right edge of the box. And you can see I'm leaving in the underdrawing of that cup as part of the drawing and drawing over it with darker lines. And checking the left side, and again, since the bottle's in the center, I'm making small adjustments to the blue mug and seeing where it lines up in proportion with the rest of the drawing. and I noticed that the width of that blue mug is about the same as the height of that front edge of the red box. So I'm putting more detail into that blue mug using that new information and kind of feeling my way around with contour lines and drawing transparently through the bottom and top of the object. Erase only when something is obscuring your view or you need to sharpen a line, but other than that, leave all the indications of the things that you've corrected as part of the drawing. It makes an interesting drawing, and it also helps me follow your thought process as you draw.